Over the last few months, there has been a rise in complaints expressed at board meetings with a heavy focus on curriculum, books, and school clubs. Curriculum, books, and clubs and activities that have been in our school for decades in many cases, yet seem to be suddenly and newly thrust into the spotlight both locally and nationally. The common theme of these complaints is that certain content and school activities are not only inappropriate for students, but actually harmful. The ensuing calls to action have included bans to ban access to certain books, changes in curriculum, and the shutting down of supposedly offensive clubs and activities. The concern I raised tonight is that at the core of the issues being raised is an attempt to impose a specific morality which is rooted in dominant religious beliefs on public school happenings. We're defining things as appropriate or inappropriate, but on whose terms? We have such a vibrant and diverse community that it would be a huge disservice to many ethos and religions represented if the district gives credence to these complaints by aligning our curriculum, activities, and books with that of a very specific and narrow morality. I appreciate that we have district policies and procedures in place to address complaints and concerns, but I struggle to understand why we are seemingly taking it to a new level. The district has been, in my opinion, overgenerous with the sudden scrutiny, which is now being utilized for every library book, curriculum book, and club that someone raises an issue with, because these complaints shouldn't actually have a basis. When it comes to books, for instance, we have a system in place. It's called a choice. If a book you disagree with is in the library, your kid fortunately doesn't have to read it. They, or you as a family, can choose not to read it or take it out. If a book you disagree with is part of the curriculum, your child doesn't have to read it. We have a system in place that allows you to work with the teacher to select an applicable alternate text. The same choice applies to school clubs and activities. No one is required to participate in any club or activity. It's a choice. If a student or family does not align with or disagrees with the club or in-school activity, they have the freedom not to participate. Giving voice to these complaints also serves to diminish the hard work and expertise of our district teachers and staff who utilize and facilitate these resources on a daily basis. If this is the case, why are we still having the conversation? Because it seems like choice isn't enough. Instead, what I observe being advocated by these complaints is the revocation of choice, to allow only those options that stem from a very specific and narrow morality. Not only is choice not enough, but there seems to be an obsession with taking away the choices and access of others, which is quite the opposite of freedom. This kind of oversight will not cut it in a vastly diverse and beautiful community like the Westchester Area School District. I want to thank the district for their steadfastness in responding to these issues and hope you continually reaffirm your stance on having representative literature and curriculum, not banning books, and supporting activities that represent all students. Representation matters, and while we may have disagreements about what is appropriate or not, we have choice, and we cannot allow the very specific and narrow morality of some to be imposed on all.